I just want to say a little bit about tough choices. It's one of the things that we've tried to do internally in the Arts Council and also in our relationship with artists and organisations is I was going to say clarify the relationship, is try and develop a relationship which is based on partnership. Partnerships are obviously the way forward because there's strength in working together. But for too long, the Arts Council has always had a hierarchical relationship. When I first started, which was some years ago, I was talking to Erica about that just now. When I first started, some time ago at the Arts Council, about 10 years ago, I was the theatre officer in the Southwest. And I got a couple of phone calls in the first month saying, if it hadn't been a theatre officer for some time, saying, oh, excuse me, I don't want to trouble you, but I'd like some advice if that's all right. But if you haven't got time, this very diffident approach to, you know, what actually I am a public servant. I work for NDPW, and that's my job. That was my job there. My job now is to talk about funding programs. I think there's a much more healthy attitude about accountability, but I think we really need to ensure that that relationship isn't something that either organisations or individuals hide behind and look for a 21st century adult relationship. And that is a challenge because we in a landscape, we do have money, Alan, you're right, we do have money, but it's not as much as it was. And there was almost the jam tomorrow situation with the lottery money that once the Olympics is out of the way, there'll be this flood of money coming through to benefit all the good causes. Hasn't materialised. In fact, lottery income, which is very strange, I think you'd agree, lottery income during a recession, everybody says it always goes up. Lottery income is going down, and our lottery income is going down, so there's another uncertainty there. But we will be having to make tough choices and give tough messages, and so that demands a resilience of our staff, which might be a challenge, and it's definitely going to be a challenge for the sector. Okay, opportunities. I'm going to give another. I've got quite a few quotes that I have, so I'm just going to give another one. Bertolt Brecht, playwright, said, Marxist playwright, pseudo-Marxist playwright, said, in the hard times, people don't stop singing. They just make songs about the hard times. And I think that's one of the exciting things that, you know, this summer, although there has been a considerable amount of money, the Cultural Olympiad didn't cost an arm and a leg. It wasn't a huge investment compared with the investment in the Olympics. There has been a fantastic outpouring of wonderful world-class art. I was checking with Tracy before we started. Did you come across Sacrilege at all? Anybody come across Sacrilege? Sacrilege was the life-size Jeremy Deller sculpture, life-size blow-up inflatable of Stonehenge, which the Arts Council funded. We had it in Exeter, came to Exeter, and I've got a certificate to prove that I jumped on the life-size. And you say, well, what was it? And it was just the most fun. I mean, it's a bollard 100 times larger. It's a very concrete, immediate engagement that only an artist would have thought of. And probably only the Arts Council. We put money into it. I think the LOCOG put money into it, and the Mayor's office in London put some money into it, because of course it went round a different borough each day during the Olympics, which must have been a logistic nightmare in itself, blowing up and blowing down a life-size model of Stonehenge. And I say that because I just think that's an example of the imaginative power that that artists have and will always have, regardless of money. And I think that's, in hard times, artists will become even more resourceful and even more resilient. And that's the challenge, but I think that's also the opportunity, finding ways in which to do things. And I think the challenge for us as an organisation is to actually meet and support and address that. And support, of course, all our other partners, particularly local authority partners who don't even have arts development officers. And we can understand that, of course. It's hard times for everybody. And so I think that's a real, it is a threat, but it's also an opportunity, that strong engagement. What can we do here to respond to the times we're in? I'm going to stop in a minute because I'll just give time for questions. There's just a couple of other things I want to say. I think one of our major pushes at the moment is to look at encouraging organisations and artists to be more resilient. Resilient is our word this year. Resilient, sustainability was last year. Resilience is the word this year. And that resilience, difficult word, but I think we can understand what it means. It means smiling in the face of adversity, but it means more than that. It means we're going to get through. And that is to do with partnership. It's to do with doing what's necessary and ignoring what isn't. It's to do with paring things down. And the other thing, of course, is that it's to do with belief in yourself and belief in what you're doing and talking with us. We will have, after the restructure, we will have specialist officers whose job it is to give advice across a whole range of things. We will be developing different partnerships with local authorities. At the moment we have a pilot project working with Bristol City Council where we have a joint memorandum of understanding about our relationship with organisations. In that, what we're actually doing, Bristol City Council, you may know, has cut back, like lots of local authorities, has cut back on its officers in order to protect the money for frontline. In a sense, that's what we're doing at the Arts Council, we're cutting back on staff in order to protect the money. But we're not back to zero, which is practically where Bristol is. So we're working closely with Bristol City Council in order to support their ongoing development. I think I'll stop there because just to give time for some questions.